I am not the right person to be on this podcast.
Like for me, cheating is not black and white.
Humans are so complicated.
Women. Indecisive.
This or that.
Both.
Welcome back to another 3 a.m. We are so glad to be reunited. It feels like it's been a lifetime. We're back at it. We're gonna jump right into the activity of the day because we love a structured hang with activities. So we brought activities today. And Priyanka, take it away. What are we doing?
So the first question is, would you date above or below your league?
In my league.
That's not even an option. You have to choose between the two.
Chandra, answer.
It's really hard to say. I feel historically I have dated below my league, but I think that stems from my desire to not be left by my partner. The belief is that if I date below my league, then maybe they won't leave me, but they always do.
That's just men.
The truth is, it doesn't really matter if you date above or below your league. But I think we keep seeing these videos about how you marry at the level of your self-esteem. So if you are dating someone below your league, that probably means that your self-esteem is too low to work on that. So that's what we're doing in this era.
I've also seen this video where people are asking just random people on the streets if they would date above or below their league. And I'm pretty sure they've edited, but like most of the women have said that they'll date below their league, while most men said they'll date above their league.
I mean, that works.
So why do we think that is?
I think it's the confidence thing. Like men are just confident.
That's true. The audacity.
They're just born. They're just born with like so much audacity, and nobody tells them like they're not good enough. Like for women, it's very different. Like
Guys, we're gonna get
sort of
cancelled for being a feminazi podcast. Dekhna comments.
We see you. Thanks for the engagement, guys.
Yeah,
no,
but
like
I
not
agree.
being bitter, but I think men are just
That's
confident.
true. Women are just generally
Like they have to prove their worth, right? They have to like.
Even I was gonna, if I had to, I would go below. But I think it's not. I truly think that a partner affects every aspect of your life. So what is even league, right? Like, do they take care of themselves? Are they ambitious? Well, physicality is just a small part of it. So I would want a partner to positively impact me, because after a point they impact everything. Like, you tend to, there are a lot of studies that say that you become a lot like your partner over the years. Like, they even start looking similar, apparently, people who live together for many, many years. So I don't know how to answer that. I intuitively think below also, like the reel that you mentioned. Maybe I'll try to go above my league to really push the envelope. And
Yeah, but I like what you always say about how my partner should be making me, what was it? Happier, richer, or
I
smarter.
don't say that.
You don't say that. Someone else said that. It's just an interesting tool to use. That is this person making me happier, smarter, or richer? And are they bringing the same value to my life that I definitely know I am to theirs? And if those can kind of really match, that would be ideal. So yeah, I think league is also so subjective. I mean, it's like, is it physical appearance that defines your league, but you're also a terrible person, so then that like kind of brings you down a notch. Yeah, which one would you rather?
I would go with below because I think above my league would be whatever that means, would actually like make me a bit insecure.
all the time, yeah.
Right. I can't be with a man who's prettier than I
Unless
am.
you bring them down.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Joking.
Next question.
Would you rather date someone who prioritizes their career over their relationship, or someone who prioritizes their relationship but lacks career ambition?
Career over relationship.
Why?
If I have to pick, like I hate these options. You're making me pick between two terrible options. Why can't I get a balanced guy? But chalo, if I have to, I think truly what makes a person attractive to me is not just how ambitious they are, but how they approach life. And career is a big part of, what they care about, what they spend 80% of their day doing. Sure, a relationship will be 20%, but if you don't care about 80% of your day, that makes you very unattractive to me. But I wouldn't ever want you to not prioritize me at all. But I understand that, okay, let me put it this way. I understand that if there is a phase in life that you have to prioritize your career in some ways. But then there are moments you can't ignore the relationship.
Right.
I think we use such extreme examples because they uncover something about our values, right? Like, obviously neither is ideal, but if we had to pick one, I think that reflects on what we care about.
What's your answer?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel I would probably go for relationship over career. And I think that quality time and the support and the attention that I need in a relationship, like I think I would struggle if someone were really busy, even if they were incredibly well intentioned and well meaning. Like I really require that closeness and that time to really bond.
Like I have always been that person who would have gone the other way, like chosen somebody who prioritizes their career over the relationship, but it has never worked out for me because it gets to a point where they do not care about the relationship and they kind of like start losing interest in me as well. And that's not a great place to be. So yeah, I try to change it a bit. I'm marrying somebody who actually like prioritizes me, and yeah, I'm loving it. Like he always has time for me. He's always like looking for ways to see me, and it's just so nice.
Oh, so happy for you.
Would you rather have a relationship where you never argue but lack passion, or one that is full of passion but also frequent arguments?
You answer first.
This is easy. Frequent arguments.
Yeah, me too. I didn't want to say it first.
I love a spicy time.
So you want passion? It doesn't matter if you're fighting all the time.
No, not all the time. You said frequent. And I can work on it. Guys, you can work on the frequent arguments. But what do you do about the other one?
No, I think arguments are healthy in a relationship. Like it shows that you care and that you are setting a boundary or you're standing up for yourself, right? Like anger is a boundary emotion, as we know. So if you're feeling worked up about something, it means it's an opportunity to set boundaries or have better communication. I always feel like every time you have an argument, you learn something to do better next time. So without those arguments, you also don't learn stuff about the other person, about what works best for them. And I think the makeup is always great. You know, it always feels nice, right? Like if your relationship was just... I am not the right person to be on this podcast. But if your relationship was truly just steady and stable the whole time with like no arguments, like, okay, it depends on the depth of the argument too, right? It depends on what you're arguing about for sure. Go ahead.
No, I'm imagining arguments, very fixable arguments.
Exactly. Like your toothpaste cap is like somewhere else and that's annoying me. Like that's an argument we can deal with, not the like really core deep stuff.
I wanted to go with the first option. Lack of passion, because I am somebody who does not like arguments at all. Like it just makes me so anxious. But yeah, I think it is important to have arguments.
That's true.
Like it really makes you, like it brings you closer.
But frequent arguments, same question I'll ask you. You would have passion with lots of arguments?
Because I also think like that would be so disruptive to my life. You know, like it does take up mental bandwidth.
It. And then the passion also stays and the arguments also go away.
Like
that's how I'm approaching it.
There's like passion but then argument, Like it's not.
That sounds very unhealthy. I'm really now thinking of switching my answer.
That's a very like addictive like.
I switched mine to you. I'm switching to kid.
Women.
This or that.
Both.
Yeah, imagine being like passionate all the time and then you're arguing. So it's never like stable.
Right. And like how do you have the energy to focus on other things in your life? Right. Like when I was in the most toxic relationships, my career stagnated. You know what I mean? Like other things in my life lost the focus that I would have loved to give them, right? I would have had so much space for like creativity and for innovation, and instead I was drained entirely.
Right.
And yeah, I like enjoyed that up and down roller coaster for a minute, but I think it held me back from my true potential. My dadi always said, like, you don't need passion. Like, she actually told me that, like, in marriage, you know.
No, that's not true. It can be an add-on to life. It can be a cherry on the cake.
Yeah, but I don't know if it has to necessarily be there.
So, Dadi, I would really defer to her. She said that passion is not needed.
She said that a calm, gentle fondness can grow over time and does not need to be stoked by this like intense fire. And she said that, yeah, in relationships, that's what you want because you know it's like a hit. It's almost like a drug.
Right.
In a long-term marriage where you know you have to do so many things together, you have to like be a team and be on the same page. All of this like lust and excitement and butterflies doesn't help you there, right? Then you need that stability, the calmness.
But passion doesn't always need to be negative. Passion can
No,
also
we're not
be...
talking about passion. We're talking about the argument.
The option
I have to fix it. I'm like, I'll work on the argument.
fighting.
That's why
You broke would you rather.
I don't know why you stuck on it.
I'll choose the second option. I'll change it a bit.
It makes sense, no? So I'm totally taking the option you can make it work, right? I'm like, pick the second and fix the fights.
I hate fighting. The next question is a bit spicy. Would you rather catch your partner cheating once and they deeply regret it, or never catch them but always suspect they might be cheating?
What is this? How is this?
We thought it was a great one.
How is this? Straight up answer. Catch them and leave them. I don't want to live a life of torment. I'd rather know band-aid approach and be out of it. What about you?
I think the first one. Just being in that constant state that he might be cheating. Should I check his phone? Should I see where he's going? Should I put a GPS on his car?
Girl, keep talking.
I think that would be a horrible state to live in. So I think, yeah, just catch them cheating and hope they deeply regret it.
Would you stay with them? Loaded question.
Like for me, cheating is not black and white.
So if it's just physical and it's not emotional, you're okay with it? You can
I'm
deal
not
with it.
okay with it. I would enjoy it.
You can deal with it. But if it's
Yeah,
an
if it's-
affair, as mom puts
Exactly.
it.
Like if it's
She thinks every relationship is an affair. She doesn't understand affair as a scandalous...
That's so cute.
so if it's a mistake, like
He tripped.
How do you
fell
trip
into
right
somebody-
into a woman?
like if it was a one-time thing.
But you never know. Maybe it was once and...
Okay, we know it was a one-time
Okay, fair
thing.
enough. Maybe it was something... Okay, I've heard this example where this old woman finds out her husband cheated 40 years ago when he was in the... Like, you know, in the sense like...
He was in the war.
Quite literally, he was in the army. He really was. And at that point, she's like, it's so many decades ago. He's apologetic. It's over. It's like, what do I leave my...
How was he apologetic when she didn't even know?
I don't know how she found out, but I'm guessing...
Oh, apologetic.
Yeah.
40 years later.
Yeah.
He wasn't apologetic then.
I don't
so he
know
was
if she
apologetic.
knew.
He got caught, not that he cheated.
Maybe, okay, not to defend cheaters, maybe he didn't cheat again because he was apologetic.
But yeah. No, just to comment on this, I feel I've lived in that state where like you're constantly on guard and it's a sense of hypervigilance. Like the feeling that you have to think twice if he's saying, oh, I'm going to meet my female friend, that you have to like pause for a second is such a horrible and dehumanizing, and it reduces your own dignity so much, right? Like I feel so bad. I've never been that person to care, but like to actually like look at someone's Instagram and be like, oh, who did he, you know, follow or whatever. But that's the scenario that was created. And it was so horrendous that I would never choose to do that again. Yeah, I would not. I would know, and then I would leave.
That's the hard part, no?
It is like, you're okay doing that. Like, it is within your moral code to do that thing, you know? Like, once you do it, I feel that that seal is broken, then there's no reason why they won't do it again and be apologetic again.
You know, Priyanka, you said something very profound, which is cheating is not black and white. I mean, what is even cheating, right? Like, okay, it's very, on one hand, there's the whole physicality, which is just a black and white cheating. But then, like the emotional cheating bit, right? It's so hard to define, and even, it's a gray area. You're close to someone, as close as you should be with your wife, or closer than your wife, or whatever, partner. As I've gotten older, I've realized it's usually never black and white. So straight up cases are not, they're a very college thing, you know, like first, second year, oh, scandal. It goes away after that.
And what are the odds that you never get feelings for someone else? Ever, right? Like
But it's
that's what
about
I think
acting on
about.
them.
Exactly. So that's the thing, like you can't control someone getting attracted to someone else. Like the odds are in 80 years together, they are going to see other people they find attractive, and so will you.
But then what actions are not correct?
I was actually talking about micro cheating. There's cheating and there's also like micro cheating where some people feel it's cheating, some people feel it's It's okay, like possible. Like if you like a girl's photo on Instagram,
Is
for
that
example.
micro-cheating? Do you guys think so?
Some people think that.
Do you
I
guys?
just read an article on the Telegraph, and I have some examples of micro cheating. Let's get into it, shall we? Secretly messaging someone.
Arey yaar, no.
For me, secretly messaging
Yeah,
someone.
it is cheating. I mean, actually, no, not cheating. That's the point.
But that's my point. Like, am I gonna tell you everyone I text ever? Like, it's sometimes it's not a secret. It's just like
Element is secret that I hide it. I ensure
deleting
I
the
delete the
messages.
chat. I ensure you don't find out about it.
that's shady.
I don't know why would you do that. Okay, another argument could be made that even if there's nothing wrong going on there, the partner would overreact, so they hide, not to defend it, right? Like, I'm just taking an A and B example, not even me or someone. And A is kind of doing this, and there's really nothing. It's just a coworker, and they're talking as friends. But again, it's a gray area. But still, they're friends in his eyes and his behavior. But then, if B finds out he's talking to any woman, she flips, in theory. So he's decided. Now, in that situation, I don't know.
Well, then your relationship is very insecure.
Exactly.
You have a fundamental lack of trust in that
Exactly.
case, right? Because why is she freaking out in the first place? Either she doesn't trust you, or she's so
Like you-
insecure.
Or you have given her a reason.
Exactly. So these things are very contextual.
Okay, complaining about your partner to the other person.
Who other person?
Like
Friends.
another opposite gender person.
If they're a friend and you're sharing, it's fine. But if I just met them at a bar, no.
Saying things like, if I weren't in a relationship.
But as a hypothetical, I say it all the time. You know, like, oh, as a hypothetical,
Yeah.
don't you?
I'm not in a relationship.
She just called me gross.
No, like give an
know.
example of how you would have said that.
If I weren't in a relationship, Valentine's Day would look very different for me. If I weren't in a relationship, I would do all solo trips this year. But now I want to allocate time to friends, partner, ye, wo.
Okay, sending someone photos of yourself.
Inappropriate, no.
Selfie?
वो तो मैं पार्टनर को ही नहीं भेजती किसी और को क्या भेजूं
Just sending selfies.
but why
Because
I'm too old for that
the other person's like, oh, send me a picture. And you actually send him a picture.
Like, is it cheating?
my childhood friend I have sent like but then it's very different he's like friends with me for 15 years but it's not a thing I have once in a while like oh look at my Verona curlies send a photo of us why not?
That's different. A group picture is different.
I don't think I've ever sent a
Like you're
solo
just talking to someone who might or might not have feelings for you.
oh no
Like you haven't talked about it, but there is some tension there. And he's like, oh, send me a picture.
And then you do.
the undercurrent you're giving is so like send me a picture with that face it's a no.
Next, would you rather?
Would you rather date someone who constantly talks about their ex or someone who refuses to talk about their past relationships at all?
I'd rather not hear about your past life all the time.
That would be hard.
That can't be me.
Exactly. So I'd rather not hear about your past life all the time. In the sense, would you pick hearing about the ex?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I want to know. Like,
Arey, but it's constant. They don't stop only.
She just wants the lore. She wants the mythology of him.
yeah.
But it's tea. Once you know, then you shut up. No, but they don't.
But
They constantly talk.
though options, it's not like they talk a little and then they stop. That's not the other option. It's like they don't talk at all.
You're together for a year. The ex still comes up. What do you do? No, but you'd rather
Bachelors
this come
and
up
someone coach.
on the day of your wedding. It comes up. My ex chose that lehenga.
Oh.
But you'd rather have that than
Yeah.
never hear about her.
Yeah.
See, I really want I want to know what happened so that I know
Exactly.
that
But it's
what's
constant,
gonna
guys.
happen with me. Like,
It's okay. Tell me.
Bhai, we to discuss all the time that I want a testimonial from your ex saying that you're a good person and that it didn't work out for extenuating circumstances. You were moving to a different country, so it couldn't work out. But otherwise, he's a great person.
So it actually happened.
Priyanka is wild today. I love it. Tell us.
So I met this person. I met this person. I went for our first date. The person I'm about to get married to. And he said, like, we'll never talk about our past relationships. And I'm like, why? Like, what have you done? Like, I got so curious.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then we talked a lot about that.
Priyanka's like,
Because I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, is he ashamed? Is he embarrassed?
or has he done something
Or
that
is
you
he
should?
hurt?
Yeah.
Is he still like in trauma? Has he not forgotten that person?
Right.
So it's like I wanted to know, like, what is it that you don't want to talk about?
We always say like past behavior is the best predictor of future performance, right? So I mean, the same is true. Like people change and they grow and evolve, but fundamentally, like what they did in the past is likely what they'll.
Like, why did you break up?
I don't agree
Like,
with that though.
You don't.
I mean, because people change, people
People
grow.
do change, but
So if something happened 7 years ago, and or whatever, even if the time is 3 years ago, maybe that was a very fundamental learning point for you. If it's something like cheating, I guess it's not the same. But maybe the relationship was toxic, you guys didn't communicate, and you've learned from it. But then I see a point in terms of at least there's a pattern there to be wary of. Right? They may have worked on it, but they have a history of having that issue. So,
yeah.
I
Like,
guess-
did they break up with every one of their exes isse pehle, right? Like, was it always them doing the dumping?
Yeah, that means
Also,
they're
like-
avoidant at some level.
Also, were they doing casual before this, or were they in a long-term relationship? How many long-term relationships did they have? Like, it tells you so much about that person.
That I understand. I would want to know, but if I have to pick between hearing about it all the time and never hearing about it, I'd take the second one. Because I also think a lot of data points you can gather by being with them. So even if they never tell me, eventually I'll figure out everything.
Eventually, he'll do it to you. I mean, whatever he was doing, right? Like, that's true. Like, you're gonna find out firsthand then.
Exactly.
So, for good or for bad. I mean, hopefully
Yeah,
for
yeah.
good.
Okay, would you rather be with someone who never wants kids when you do, or someone who wants kids but has a very different parenting style from you?
Second. The first is just what's the word?
Irreconcilable.
Yeah, thanks. Literally, there is nothing you can do about it, and I'd rather not be unfulfilled all my life. And this is a desire that either way, if you don't want kids, don't have them, and if you want kids, have them. Don't ever do the opposite of that. But then if parenting style is very different, again, you can come halfway. I take the option and I make it work.
Notice you're a very solution-oriented person. I love that about you.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're like always looking for what's the right solution in this situation. I think it would be heartbreaking to want kids and not have them because your partner doesn't want them. Like, that's devastating. Then you have to really like become a teacher so you can have kids in your life, you know? Yeah, like people who don't have children, like, you know, they sometimes choose
To be around children
careers
in other
that
ways, yeah.
enable them to do that. But there's something like having your own family.
But how do you deal with the parenting style? You also pick that Priyanka option?
Yeah, that would drive me crazy though at the same time.
Imagine they want,
I
okay,
want to
let me
know,
take
like,
it.
what are the different parenting styles?
So like, if someone's very strict and is like very disciplinarian, authoritarian, tum kahin nahi ja sakte, tum ye nahi pehen sakte, tum, you know, whatever. And then the other person, or like, you're not that way.
Oh, I was thinking more like Hare Hare Radhe Krishna, one parent. The other is atheist. What do you do about, I mean, I was just going to throw the situation at you because that sounds fun to me
Yeah,
too.
but like then the kid can choose, you know?
Yeah.
Kids by definition don't choose much.
That's true.
Children,
They just
do
follow
what parents,
example.
yeah. It's not like they have the ability or facts to be able to make a decision. They don't know enough and they're too young also when they're very young. So one parent is telling one kid to go to the temple every day and the other is saying it's okay if you don't want to. How do you deal with that? It's not an easy option, honestly. Different parenting style.
But yeah, someone who, like, I know I would probably not be a very strict parent. But then the other opposite end would be like someone who's extremely loose and kuch bhi kar lo and no rules and nahi school jana hai to mat jao. Like, that would drive me crazy, you know? Like, I mean, you would be in constant conflict with your partner. Yeah. Maybe on second thought, maybe don't have the kid. Yeah, because that kid is actually the one who's going to bear the brunt, you know? Because they're going to be so confused.
So I'd rather bear the brunt.
Yeah, like that kid is actually gonna have trauma. So maybe just you suffer the pain of not having a child.
Don't be in that situation. This is such a... Leave the partner.
A divorce.
Thank you.
Like, I remember having this conversation with my ex. See, I keep talking about them.
No,
like,
but
he
this
wanted
is
to
your life experience.
Yeah, he wanted to homeschool.
Oh, from like nursery.
Yeah. Like he hated going to school,
Right.
and he's like, oh,
I would never subject my
kids
But there's
same.
so many skills you learn being in school.
Of course,
Right.
and that's your perspective. Or like, oh,
As a person.
what if they like only want them to go to a boys' school or only to go to a girls' school, but I want them to go to a co-ed school.
Like he wanted to go with like the Chinese parenting where you like where the kids start early, where start training the kid for Olympics when they're like 3.
But then
So he
who
wanted
does all that training?
approach, and I'm not that person.
Does he want you to do it? The whole training? I mean, did he want you to? How?
Like get professional help
But at home.
at home.
That's an interesting model.
Yeah. But like it would drive me crazy just thinking that I'll have to put
Wait,
my
I
kid
have a
through
question.
that.
Like, did all of your parents have the same parenting style?
I don't think my mom had much say.
Yeah.
Which was a big problem in their
the point is,
marriage.
like, if there's a conflict, then usually one person just wins out and the other has to just...
Exactly. But then that's on the parents to figure it out.
Right.
It should never come to the child.
Yeah.
Whatever differences you have, you figure it out. The child should get a unanimous view from both the parents.
Or don't have a child. Like,
I agree.
and that was the other option. Were you...
No, but my father did not really have like he was too busy. So I think their parenting style was the same because like we never got like different messages from them. Like he was a bit strict, but I think it was
That's normal.
okay.
I think
Very
there's always
Indian
one
parent.
slightly stricter, one slightly not strict.
What about you?
Yeah, they had the same parenting style. Like I think
Or
they
at least
they were
communicated to you that way, yeah.
Or I got that message.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is the healthy
I
thing.
think they were very mature. Like they were older when they had us. They were really established in their life, and they had figured out they were like 32, 33, I guess. When they had me and my sister, they were like 40. So their whole message was always very similar. Like, yeah, I was never confused. So I think that was helpful. So I would love for my child to have that. Basically, like when I'm thinking about choosing my partner, I'm looking for someone who, you know, we can get on the same page first about. And I'm sure they would maybe fight behind a closed door and be like, what should we have them do? And then they would come to us and say like, okay, this is what you're going to do together.
Yeah, exactly. That conversation of what's supposed to be done is supposed to be done
They don't need to see.
That's cool.
how interesting.
Very interesting. This question was very insightful.
Yeah. Like in the beginning it felt like it's just a simple the answer is simple.
Yeah.
Different parenting style is fine, but so many layers to it.
Yeah.
Humans are so complicated. Bye.
That's it.
Leave in the comments below more would you rathers that you want us to answer, and we will maybe get a more diverse crew on here. We'll get some boys on to comment as well. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.